it's understandable that people, when they see Tumblr get bought for $1 billion or people invest $100 million in Tumblr or whatever, they're just such big numbers that it's hard for people to comprehend. And what I encourage people to do is just drop off 3 zeros or 2 or 3 zeros and then just think about it like a restaurant. If I told you, so we drop off 3 zeros, that this restaurant got sold for $1 million and that the restaurant was making, $50,000 a month, you'd be like, okay, it's probably a good deal. Or these people invested $500,000 in this restaurant and they sold it for $2 million. You'd be like, that's great. That sounds good. It's just the numbers are so large that even when I came as this kid out of Brooklyn, I was absolutely like you, like, oh my God, it's big numbers and how do you go that big and whatever. And it turns out there's a lot of money in the world. There's trillions of dollars just sitting around and people are bored and rich people are getting richer and richer every month. These billionaires, have $50 million or $100 million in profits on their investments, and they're just sitting there like, okay, what do I do with this month's $50 million? Oh, I'll just buy a big house that's worth $50 million. None of us can understand it, but that's the truth. And when the stock market is roaring and their investments are roaring and the polarization was like, it's like, oh yeah, I'll put $10 million into this. I'll put $5 million into this. Why not? They're bored.
Yeah.
The market, the money is bored. Money wants to burn. Money wants to be spent. Money does not want to sit in a safe. Yeah. Money is intended to be gambled. Put it on black. Spin the wheel. Let's see what happens.
I've never heard anyone say it like that. Because I think what people think is they think Yahoo bought Tumblr for $1 billion. It wasn't long ago that Yahoo bought GeoCities for $3.8 billion. And GeoCities is effectively worth zero now. And now...
Yeah, so if somebody opened a pizzeria and it failed because it didn't have enough foot traffic, not everybody would be sitting there like, oh my God, that pizzeria, they spent $1 million building a pizzeria and it went out of business? They'd be like, yeah, but there's 20 other pizzerias, that person opened that are doing great. So listen, if McDonald's is opening and closing and Starbucks is opening and closing, little outposts everywhere. They're big numbers, yes, but these are big businesses and they're big swings. I mean, what if you bought YouTube for $1.6 billion and now it's worth $50? That's the truth. YouTube's a $50 billion value business right now. So don't get too caught up in the big numbers.